Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas Packers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott claims team is very close to championship. All but the most devout and delusional Dallas Cowboys fans agree that the team is pretty dysfunctional right now. They've been thoroughly lapped by the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were passed by the Washington Commanders this year in the NFC East hierarchy. Don't tell Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott that. Prescott claims the team is very close to winning their first Super Bowl in 30 years, despite evidence to the contrary. Dallas was actually pretty darn good from 2021 to 2023, going 12-5 each season and winning a playoff game in the second of those 3 years. But 2024 showed huge regression from the franchise. Prescott missed the last half of the season with an injury, but they weren't particularly good with him either, and they finished 7-10. When you consider that Prescott signed a huge contract extension prior to the season that made him football's highest-paid player, 7-10 seasons with a declining roster aren't going to cut it. But Prescott doesn't think Jerry Jones and Dallas are far off from the franchise's 6th Lombardi trophy. Here's ESPN with more. I feel like we've competed with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we've played them, Prescott said Tuesday after announcing the models for this year's Children's Cancer Fund Gala that will be held April 11. I don't want to say, check the record, when the other guy is holding the trophy, right? So credit to them. They've earned it, and they deserve it by all means. But, yeah, we're very close. When asked how far the Cowboys are from doing what their NFC East rivals have done, Prescott also mentioned the Washington Commanders, who lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Especially even watching the NFC Championship and those two teams that we battle against each and every year a couple of times. As I said, I feel confident that we've gotten the better part each and every time. But just seeing such a dominating fashion, in Super Bowl 59 against the Kansas City Chiefs, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us. Oddmakers disagree. Their odds are around the 20th best next year to win the Super Bowl at around 55-1, depending on what sportsbook you go to. Needless to say, people do not think that they are contenders. That being said, you'd want your franchise quarterback to say this. If Dak Prescott isn't thinking that they are contenders, that's a problem. Dallas Cowboys diehard inside Celtic squad left green with Eagles envy after Chiefs dog walked in Super Bowl. A Philadelphia Eagles victory in the Super Bowl has left one Celtic player soaring and another with head and hands. The culmination of the NFL season had the Kansas City Chiefs gunning for a first-ever 3 titles in succession during the Super Bowl era. Andy Reid's team were destroyed by the Birds' defense and Jalen Hurts turned in an MVP display to have them 24-0 up at halftime. It was over as a contest by that point as Patrick Mahomes was left seeing ghosts and a run of fourth-quarter plays saved some pride for the 2023 and 2024 champions, but a 40-22 pasting was still inflicted upon them. It's all lead into the Celtic changing room on Monday morning. Alistair Johnston is a big Dallas Cowboys fan, the NFC East divisional rival of the victorious Eagles. After a calamitous 7-10 season had Mick McCarthy go as head coach and failure to reach the playoffs, bitter enemies winning the big one only added to the woe. Austin Trusty, however, was left flying as his Eagles partied into the night. He is a Philly boy. He said he fell asleep at halftime, which is fair enough as the game was over at that point. It is probably best for us because we are going to need him. I am happy he got his rest in and the Eagles took care of business. Philly is a very well-known sports city. They take their sports seriously, are known for being very passionate. It is a very blue-collar, working-class team. When they won the Super Bowl a few years ago, they had to put oil or lube all over all the street poles because people were climbing up them and hanging off them. They have got a little bit of Glasgow Celtic about them in some ways. We will see. Hopefully a couple of field goals as well. Hopefully we will keep a clean sheet like the Eagles did for so long. I'll tell you what, if we could put up an Eagles scoreline, I would be buzzing with that. That would be something, oh my goodness. It all comes in the build-up to Celtic facing Bayern Munich in a Champions League knockout round playoff on Wednesday night. So what's bigger, America's primetime sporting event or Europe's elite club football competition? Johnston responded, what is bigger? Man, I would have to look at the numbers on that. I am biased, I would have to say the Champions League for me. But back in America it literally goes, Thanksgiving, Super Bowl, then Christmas. The world stops over there. The TV numbers it puts up are incredible. They are selling 30-second ads for $7 million. It is insane. But that is just the American way, they are die-hard about their football over there. All but the most devout and delusional Dallas Cowboys fans agree that the team is pretty dysfunctional right now. They've been thoroughly lapped by the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were passed by the Washington Commanders this year in the NFC East hierarchy. Don't tell Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott that. Prescott claims the team is very close to winning their first Super Bowl in 30 years, despite evidence to the contrary. Dallas was actually pretty darn good from 2021 to 2023, going 12-5 each season and winning a playoff game in the second of those 3 years. But 2024 showed huge regression from the franchise. Prescott missed the last half of the season with an injury, but they weren't particularly good with him either, and they finished 7-10. CeeDee Lamb has strong response to Micah Parsons' trade talk. Dallas Cowboys star Micah Parsons has once again found himself at the center of trade rumors heading into the offseason, and one of his teammates is fed up with the speculation. Ian Rappaport of NFL Media reported on Sunday that there have at least been some internal discussions in Dallas about whether the Cowboys want to sign Parsons to a massive contract extension or potentially trade the star pass rusher. CeeDee Lamb does not understand what there is to think about. Lamb took to social media on Sunday with a strong response to the latest trade rumors. Y'all aren't tired of this? Every offseason, top of the charts. Let's just win ball games, and that's with 11. SMH, Lamb wrote on X. Parsons is entering the final year of his rookie contract. He is set to make just over $24 million. Nick Bosa is currently the highest-paid edge rusher in the NFL with an average annual salary of $34 million, so Parsons will likely seek a similar deal from the Cowboys. Parsons had 12 sacks in 13 games this season. He has had at least that many sacks in each of his first 4 NFL seasons. There are few players in the league that make a bigger defensive impact than the former Penn State star. If the Cowboys want to immediately contend for championships under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, keeping Parsons should be a priority. Even if they could get a massive haul in return for him, Parsons is the type of generational talent that is almost impossible to find. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Micah Parsons? Leave your opinion in the comments.